And as you just seen there, we've had another Model Y, I believe, Tesla fire. And destroying an entire home again, which is it's just crazy. And this story has only just broke out. I legitimately just woke up out of bed. I seen this post and turned the camera on because this was actually posted by a pretty high-profile influencer. If you know motorcycles, you probably know this guy. His name's Axel Hodges, and this kid is legitimately one of the best riders in the entire world. And, I'm not talking about racing. It's more freestyle. This guy will literally do anything on a motorcycle. It's some pretty insane stuff. And he's got quite the following to boot. He's made this post essentially, praying for all the families affected by Hurricane Helen, which sort of, I think, is what started this issue, because you can see by this video, once the fire kicks on, there is I want to say maybe a centimeter or maybe an inch at max of water in that garage. You can see they've started to stack everything off of the ground. So there was a small flood happening at the time. Essentially, this was his uncle's house, and he says in the post, it's torched his truck, it torched his Jeep, it torched his golf cart. Like, it essentially torched everything the man owned. Like, his entire house, if you go to the next slide, even on the outside, you can see his vehicles completely destroyed. His house is absolutely gone. And this was, you can tell, a beautiful house at one point. It says it was his dream house that he had spent 3 years building. And it seemed like a pretty recent thing that he had gotten done. Just absolutely terrifying, guys. It is absolutely terrifying. And again, like, these batteries are so dangerous, man. Like, yes, it's probably 1 in a million or 1 in whatever it is, but it is still happening. It's happening a lot more than you think, and it's pretty risky, man. Like, imagine you just built your bloody dream house. You got this mega mansion, and you put your Tesla in the garage, and it literally just lights up because there was an inch of water on the ground, and your entire world just gets lit up. Like, that is so terrifying. And is it really worth the risk? Like, you look at the comments as well on the post here, and legitimately just the top 5 comments. Another reason never to buy an electric car. I would agree. It's good for the economy, clown face. I agree. Cancel EVs. I agree. Don't buy an electric car. Never buy electric. Like, it's a recurring thing, and honestly, I can't imagine anyone in their right mind buying an EV nowadays. Like, they have terrible resale value. You have a risk of these things burning your house down. Like, they can catch fire. I'm going to say it's not like it's super common, but it is more common to have a dangerous fire from your vehicle on an EV than it is a regular petrol car. Yes, regular petrol cars can catch on fire. It is possible, but generally it is far easier to put them out, and they don't spontaneously combust when they're parked. It's when they're driving and if there's a malfunction. So the fact that a lot of these fires are happening just while they're in a garage, that's the scary thing. They're not even on. But I mean, again, I guess these EVs, they never really kind of shut off, do they? As long as they've got that stored energy in the batteries, they're kind of on. And yeah, once these batteries ignite, they start running away, and the process just, it escalates. I think it's one cell, and then all of a sudden it spreads like wildfire to all the battery cells.
In thermal runaway, you have one cell that fails, it heats up, it thermally damages all the cells around them. They fail. You keep having cells that are in contact with each other fail. And for an e-mobility device, when you've got a large brick of cells, maybe 100 cells or so, depending on what type of device it is, that thermal runaway, it's going to run its course fairly quickly. However, when you have an electric vehicle, you have a large battery box full of thousands of cells. The thermal runaway looks a bit different. It gets to a certain point where you get so much heat, you get so much pressure built up inside of that box that you start getting initiation points elsewhere in the box. Those initiation points, they cause more failures, and that failure grows and grows and grows. Now remember, these battery boxes in an electric vehicle, it's a watertight, it's a fireproof box, but it's not a perfect seal. What happens is you start seeing some gas leaking out of the battery box itself. But rather quickly, pressure builds up inside that box because as these battery cells fail, they release a significant amount of gas. A single 18650 cell, for example, can release up to 6 liters of gas. So when a single cell releases all that gas and then another one, very quickly you get a very large amount of pressure inside this box.
When it comes to putting out a blaze, the union says a typical combustion engine car fire takes between 1,100 and 1,400 litres of water or foam to fully extinguish. While a fire in an electric vehicle, which involves the batteries burning at a much higher temperature, can take up to 30,000 litres of water to put out completely. There's also an emerging risk to first responders.
Even with the very best protective clothing and firefighters being covered from head to toe, they run the risk of cobalt poisoning. That can be career-ending.
I did have a little search on the web, and I come up on this site. It's called Tesla-fire.com. And this is essentially a site that will track all the known sort of cases, I guess, or just relative ones. So when we have a quick look here, Tesla hits pole and ignites. So let's see if we get the story that comes up. Tesla goes up in flames during crash. 20-year-old driver killed. Damn. It was reported that the Tesla continued forward and struck a light pole. The vehicle became fully engulfed in flames. The driver, whose identity has not been released, was pronounced dead at the scene. No further information. Damn. Yeah, that's scary, man. That is legitimately scary. We have another one here. This was in New Zealand, actually. So they've got a harbor bridge as well. In Auckland, I believe. And what does it say? A woman witnessed a Tesla go up in flames while on the harbor bridge overnight. Photos show the white Tesla completely torched. Yeah, damn. Look at that thing, man. A witness told the Herald the driver was very emotional, angry, upset, and shouted at police, "I don't know why my car is burnt." Damn. No one was injured, luckily. God, yeah, can you imagine that? It's not even a crash. He's just driving, and it's just kind of spontaneously combusted. He goes, "I don't know why my Tesla is burning." And you know who's getting the damage bill too? I reckon he's getting it. He's got closing down the bridge. He's got fire rescue coming out. You got to tow the car. All this stuff. Is insurance covering this? Is Tesla covering this? Who's paying? Because let alone the whole car is just completely totaled. Whatever personal belongings he's had in there. And, imagine you had your kids, your whole family in it at the time. Then you got to worry about everybody getting out. And this stuff can happen quick. The stories when you read here, Tesla catches fire while driving. Tesla erupts. Parked Tesla ignites. Tesla sinks and burns underwater. Tesla catches fire in garage. Parked Tesla catches fire. Tesla hits tree, catches fire. Carrier transporting 6 Model Ys burns. Oh my word. 6 Tesla Model Ys engulf in flames on a trailer in Turkey. A late-night blaze left firefighters scrambling to extinguish the flames and tackle thermal runaway. Head-on collision, Tesla catches fire. Another head-on collision, Tesla catches fire. Tesla burns at airport terminal. Oh my goodness. Can you imagine?
Eye-opening video from RDU International Airport this morning after a Tesla caught fire on the road heading toward the terminals. No one was hurt. However, the situation did lead us to ask some questions. Hello, everyone. I'm Deborah Morgan.
And I'm Gerald Owens. We wanted to know, how common is this now that electric vehicles are more popular? WRO's Monica Casey joins us live from RDU with a closer look at what happened. Monica?
Yeah, Gerald, you can see the burn mark left on the road here on John Brantley Boulevard. This is just before the entrance to Terminal 1, and it's a busy spot around 5 in the morning when all of this was unfolding. WRAL viewer video shows this Tesla Model S engulfed in flames, surrounded by first responders fighting the fire. Broadcast via radio traffic and WRAL video from on the scene shows a large response.
We're already on scene. Traffic stop, John Brantley, inbound. If you have any fire trucks, tell them to go in the left-hand lane to get up to the vehicle fire.
The road closure from that fire had far-reaching impacts.
Round a bend and complete standstill.
Amber Craig was set to fly to California just after 7 a.m. after 40 minutes of waiting in traffic and another 30 minutes waiting for a shuttle in the economy lot.
Tesla.
She had to call it quits of waiting in traffic and another.
Look what is left of that thing. I tell you, when they just let these things burn. You cannot put these things, you can't put these out promptly. Look at what's left of that thing. Absolutely nothing, man. There's barely a frame there. There is barely a frame. Wow.
A 2020 report by the National Fire Prevention Association says electric vehicle fires can occur when a vehicle is stationary due to extreme temperatures, high humidity, or internal cell failure. Multiple news outlets report if the battery in an electric vehicle catches fire, it can take a lot of water to extinguish. In some cases, the battery has reignited later as well.
Just what she said perfectly. Just from humidity, possibly that Axel Hodges situation, there was a little bit of water on the ground. It might have been a warm night and just that humidity coming off the water. And, even just cell degradation, an issue with the batteries, a crash. Like, it's just crazy, man. Like, so many little things can affect it. And once they're lit, again, like she said, takes a ridiculous amount of water, resources to try and get these things under control. And even when you do, they can reignite. So I think that's another reason why these firefighters are sort of like, if it's in a safe spot, we just want to let this thing burn, because they can just reignite unless they legitimately just burn themselves out. They have to almost burn themselves out to become safe again. Tale after tale after tale, it seems to be here. You could be on here all day looking through all these stories. And, it's just crazy to me that we are pushing for this narrative of, they're expensive, they're terrible on the environment to mine these things and to get them built. The recycling is not as easy as everybody says. They don't last as long as everybody says. And we've perfected the petrol engine. Even the hybrids, like a hybrid is so much better, I feel like. And just in terms of value and price as well, like they just seem to last longer. They're cheaper. Like, unless you're fully set up, it's such a pain to go and charge these things, and you still got to pay. Like, I would say it's equivalent to having a hybrid. So I really just don't see this whole, all the hoopla.
Sounds like a lot of... Hoopla! Sounds like a... Hoopla! Hoopla! Sounds like a lot of hoopla to make over a little Krabby Patty, right? Wrong!
These EVs, as good as some of them can be in right circumstances, it ain't worth the risk. I would not put my family in one of these things. I would never park one in my garage. And, it's just too risky still. And we've got a perfect thing that we already make. And now we got to change to this. It's not computing. So, I don't know. Leave your 2 cents, guys. I just wanted to make this video quickly, show you guys, again, this unfortunate accident, and be aware. If you have friends, family that own a Tesla, they want a Tesla, just keep them aware. This stuff can happen, and I would not be parking one, if you own one, in your house. Keep it at the very end of the driveway, and because this stuff, it's not worth the risk. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, though. Anyways, if you did, hit the like button, subscribe. We'll see you on the next one.